It's on today. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Kids want to do it now. Witness the strength. Free now.
Here's your host, Bill Winters. And then Throwback Thursday himself. You rock.
I'm gonna kill a motherfucker tonight.
Today, Junior.
I'm gonna kill every motherfucker in this place tonight. So how you do's?
Welcome to this shit show that we call the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. It is episode 247, and it is chock full of fuckery most foul once again, as far as computer issues go.
I'm gonna kill a motherfucker.
In case you couldn't tell, this is a very tired Bill up in New York. That is a very exasperated Jamie down in Virginia. I'm not even going to ask how you're doing this week because I already know, because we've been sitting here for an hour discussing this.
Yeah. You know, we've been known to be prone to some technical difficulties. Shit happens. To our patrons, let me apologize now for the 50 minutes of fuckery that you have to sort through in order to get to the beginning of the episode. And Devil's DJ Scott asked me on YouTube, how many times did it take? A 3. A 1, a 2, a 3.
And we still didn't get a good one.
No, I'll fix that in post.
I'm sure you will.
But anyway.
But we're here. We're live through the wonders of Periscope and YouTube and wherever else you happen to be. Dare I share this on any other social media app?
Share it everywhere. Fuck it. Bring everybody else into this torture too.
Okay, so let's hit the share button here. And we'll share this in the home of the TBT posse.
Yeah, because there is absolutely no reason for us to be the only ones eating this fucking shit sandwich tonight.
Oh, God, dude. If I eat another bite of this shit sandwich, I'm going to have more than shit in my teeth. I'm going to have no pants. No, that was last week.
It was.
I have pants.
This is ridiculous. Hi, Fred. Thanks for
say
joining
something
us.
about this. Enter at your own risk.
God damn. For anyone who is joining us, Fred955, Devil's DJ Scott, thank you for riding with us, because we will get to the good stuff. We just got to get through the shit.
That's right.
The shit.
The shit. Anyway, this week's The Shit is the same basic formula as last week's The Shit.
Except for last week's went a little smoother.
Yeah, a lot smoother. We have hip-hop headlines. We have Woo News. We have a one and done that actually, it's so funny when I saw you pick this. I just listened to this record probably 3 days ago.
Nice.
This was one of the ones that I got on the great Goodwill store heist of 2 years ago when I got the 18 discs for $36 or whatever it was, or 20 discs for $40 or whatever the hell I got that day. The record of the week is not part of that. I didn't get this one. We'll remind you who the artist of the month is for this final week, because by this time next week, it'll be November.
Yeah.
So you'll have to get your ideas in for your artist of the month for November. And then we will take a break. I'll read some lyrics. We'll see where we're standing if we have time for the Fantasy Football League.
Yeah, because we know.
As I was going to say, all the games might be done by the time we finish, because we are recording on Monday night, but we got an hour and 10-minute delay from starting. So and then we'll put a bow on it, and I will collapse and go to bed.
Yeah, and I will edit for 17 hours.
And the reason why I have to collapse, dude, I had the busiest damn day yesterday. Everybody who's listened in the past knows that I also referee ice hockey. And if you don't, guess what? I referee ice hockey.
Mm-hmm. I've heard.
I got up yesterday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. on a Sunday. Was out of the house by 6:15 after making coffee and some sandwiches because I knew I was going to be out for a good portion of the day.
Right.
I refereed a game at 7:45 a.m. in Saugerties, which is a 35-minute drive from my house.
Right.
I was supposed to have a game at 9:15. That, however, got canceled because one of the teams backed out. So I took a tiny little break, and then I was back on the ice at 11 o'clock, at 12:30, and at 2 o'clock.
Nice.
I finished that at about 3:30, drove from Saugerties to Poughkeepsie, which is, again, about a 35-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
Refereed a game in Poughkeepsie at 5:30. Got off the ice at about 6:45-ish. Met the wife for about 20 minutes worth of dinner. We stopped at, you remember Emiliano's Pizza in Poughkeepsie?
Yes.
Slices the size of an elephant ear.
Mm-hmm.
Had a slice of pizza. Said goodbye to the wife. Got back in the car. Drove 35 minutes again back up to Saugerties. Refereed games at 8:45 and 10:15 p.m.
And did you sit down and eat your slice of pizza and be quiet?
I ate my slice of pizza and be quiet. Yes. Finished the 11:50, or what did I say, 10
Something late.
10 o'clock or some crazy shit like that. 8:45 and 10:15. Finished the 10:15 game at about 11:45. Got undressed, put my regular clothes on. By the time I left the rink, it was 5 minutes to midnight. Drove the 35 minutes back home. So after not seeing anybody in my family but my wife for about 20 minutes, I went from 6 in the morning till 12:30 the following morning, and then woke up this morning and went to work.
Did you seriously let an iced tea reference just walk right by you?
Did I? See how tired I am? What did I miss?
You said 6 in the morning, man.
Oh, I did say 6 in the morning.
I don't want to call that shit 6 in the morning, G.
And you want to know what's funny? I thought that when I woke up at 6 in the morning yesterday.
6 in the morning.
Because I looked at, because the alarm went off and I looked at it and I was like, 6 in the morning? What the fuck am I doing? But that is why if you hear anything that sounds like this, that would be my head hitting the desk.
That's okay. I got stuff to keep you awake. Every time I see you drifting, I'm just going to give you...
Come on, son.
And I have this.
Yes, well, you got to have that. I don't podcast without it.
So...
Doesn't matter what show I'm on, if I'm doing...
And we have our matching mugs tonight.
We do.
Because, needed that.
Yeah, if I'm on our show, if I'm guest hosting on someone else's, if I'm just being asked a question, I have coffee. I have Death Wish coffee in my cup.
If you're walking from your living room to your kitchen...
to get more coffee,
basically,
I have coffee to get coffee.
That's right.
Got to have money to make money. Got to have coffee to make coffee.
That's right. And you got to have hip-hop headlines to make hip-hop headlines. And we have some.
We do.
So let's give some.
Sound like
so what do you say? We hit us with a little of that Triple H and hope to God this doesn't shut the computers down.
Here we go. We're going to do that again, taking it from the top.
This is Hip Hop Headlines, brought to you by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Well, the second time we had a little glitch, but we got through it. So
get on it. It's your time.
You and I are going to have to drink heavily by the time this is over with. Tonight,
while this is going on, who you kidding?
Absolutely. The Rapping Dem is the title of our first article.
Daha. No, that's...
It should be.
Yeah. Comes
to us from journalstar.com. That is the Lincoln Journal Star. And if I had to guess, I would say it's probably Lincoln, Nebraska. Land of Lincoln. Would I be right? I don't know. Because, fuckery most foul, I have a screen that won't let me see the article unless I ask a survey question now. What the blue hell is going on tonight? You can stop. What is going? Here we go. Okay.
Hey, all right. Well, let's bring it in. So I have a place to edit this shit out with a tree. Where's your mama?
So our first article you have titled The Rapping Dem. It comes to us from journalstar.com, which is the Lincoln Journal Star.
Mm-hmm. Not Midnight Star.
No. And you know what? I would have thought it would have been Lincoln, Nebraska.
That would have made
sense. But it isn't. This actually is my neck of the woods, man.
I know it is. I write the show, man. I know what's going on here.
It says Skodak, New York, but this is actually my neck of the woods because this took place in Poughkeepsie.
Yep.
Hip-hop, healthcare, and Brett Kavanaugh have emerged as issues in a tight congressional race in New York's Hudson Valley, my home, that pits a freshman Republican congressman against a rapper turned corporate lawyer seeking his first political office. Democrat Antonio Delgado is running on universal access to Medicare, creating good jobs and eliminating tax loopholes for the rich. But his supporters say Republicans have instead obsessed over his brief rap career more than a decade ago, portraying Delgado, who is black, as a thuggish big city liberal who denigrated police, women, and American values. Representative John Faso, who anybody who lives around here knows is the biggest do-nothing that we've ever had in office because he doesn't go to any of the votes. He doesn't go to any of the town halls or anything like that. He doesn't speak to constituents.
Nice.
He's a bigger piece of shit than the technical difficulties we've had.
And those are giant turds.
All right, let me get off my soapbox.
Okay.
Representative John Faso, meanwhile, says his conservative voters have been both angered and energized by the contentious fight over President Tangerine Tiny-Fisted Tyrant's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who was confirmed after facing an allegation that he sexually assaulted a woman while he was in high school. At stake is one of the nation's most closely watched midterm races. The sprawling 19th congressional district, stretching from New York City's northernmost suburbs to rural counties near Albany, is a key battleground as Democrats seek to flip the House. With voters evenly split among Democrats, Republicans, and independents, the district, which backed President Barack Obama for 2 terms and favored Trump in 2016, is a toss-up in 2018. A Siena College poll in August found Faso with a narrow 5-point lead over Delgado among likely voters, 45 to 50%. A September Monmouth University poll found Delgado leading 45 to 43%. This is a very politically divided district, Faso said at a recent pancake breakfast in rural Spiegeltown. Conservative voters are galvanized by the way the Democrats handled the Brett Kavanaugh Supreme Court nomination. The character assassinations and mob tactics deeply alienated people. But Delgado supporters say Republicans were the ones who went too far, with attack ads with racial overtones in a district that is 90% white. An ad released last month by the National Republican Campaign Committee showed clips of Delgado performing songs from his 2006 rap album under his stage name, A.D. The Voice. Lyrics included the N-word and references to sex, drug use, and white supremacists. Fazzo has repeatedly portrayed Delgado as an outsider who should explain whether the lyrics he voiced 12 years ago represent his political views today. I don't think it's okay to call women trick-ass hoes to call white people crackers, he said. Delgado, 41, was born and raised in Schenectady, just outside the district, studied at Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar, and earned a Harvard Law degree before pursuing rap in Los Angeles. He later lived in New Jersey while working in New York City as a litigator for an international law firm representing Fortune 500 companies and investment funds. Last year, he moved into the Hudson Valley village of Rhinebeck in the 19th District, which is right up the road and not too terribly far away from where my mother lives. And the thing just completely, there we go. He moved into Rhinebeck, where his wife is from, and launched his congressional campaign soon afterward. Delgado has demurred from dissecting his rap lyrics, but said his goal dovetailed with his current political aspirations. The objective was to use the most popular art form to empower young people to get more civically engaged, he said in an interview on the campaign trail. To highlight issues like income inequality, the Iraq War, climate change, wealth disparity, and criminal justice reform. Fazzo is a 66-year-old lawyer and former state assemblyman and has a record of bipartisanship in Congress on such issues as healthcare reform and the opioid epidemic. He has supported some White House policies such as the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, but voted against Trump's tax plan because of concerns that eliminating the deduction for state and local taxes would hurt families in his district. Delgado's rhetoric disparaging Fazzo is less personal, but no less infuriating to the incumbent, depicting him as beholden to corporate political action committees and accusing him of breaking a promise to an ailing constituent who begged him to preserve coverage for pre-existing medical conditions. He's not here to serve the people he's bought, Delgado told the crowd in Hoosick Falls. A lot of people in D.C. are bought on both sides. The race may come down to old-fashioned handshaking, said Spiegeltown volunteer Fire Chief Bill Maloney, who buttonholed Fazzo about equipment funding. If someone doesn't make it a point to get out there for people to get to know them, there's a good chance they won't get the votes, if people vote at all. And that's the big problem, really. Maloney said, I've never voted in a midterm election before, said Sarah Roberts, who was 30. She met Delgado at an Apple festival with her husband and 2 young boys, but I have a lot of enthusiasm for him, and I'm looking forward to getting out and voting in November. So he was picking apples.
Yeah.
Let's say that. I don't want to say he was picking anything else because I don't want anybody to accuse me of being racist. But
Yapple dapple.
He was picking apples. In fact, the constituent said, do you like apples? Well, I'm a registered voter. How do you like them apples?
Applesauce, bitch.
So if you get a chance, go take a look at AD The Voice. That may be one of our next congressmen here in New York.
Yeah, Devil's DJ Scott said he should have been the one and done.
Maybe he should have. Now, we get away from the political thing and we bring you some happy news.
Yes.
There's a new prince or princess on the way. And how do we know it's a prince or princess? Because it's coming from the Queen.
Yes.
And TV1.tv brings us this article.
I love TV1. One of my favorite channels.
I don't think we have it here.
Oh, you're missing out. You need to investigate and find out why your shitty cable company is not carrying TV1.
Because it's a shitty cable company. You just answered your question.
I know.
Queen Latifah reportedly expecting a child with her girlfriend, Ebony Nichols. According to Radar Online and various pictures floating around the internet, Queen Latifah and longtime girlfriend Ebony Nichols are pregnant. This comes as great news for the actress as she lost her mom, Rita Owens, to cancer back in March. The two have been together for at least 5 years, first being spotted together in 2013. And there's a whole lot of Instagram pictures on here. Congratulations to the happy couple. Were you a fan of Living Single? We talked to the cast of July about that rumored reboot and some of their favorite guest appearances, which is a bonus that if you click on the show notes, you can see that interview too. But
Yeah.
Queen Latifah expecting a little one. And we're very happy for her. So congratulations on behalf of the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. So it's not Latifah. Latifah's on vacation. It's just plain mommy today.
The plain old mommy today.
That's right. Our next article. The evolution will be televised.
It will, like it or not.
Says you anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's how you titled it.
Well, I did.
20 years of blending the classic and inventive and outcasts.
Wait a minute. You just jumped an entire article.
Did I skip one?
You read the title to one.
Oh, and you know why? Because remember when my computer locked up before?
Yeah.
The whole article here just completely disappeared.
What the hell?
Here we go. Season 2 of Hip Hop Evolution. That makes
would be
better
it.
sense.
It would.
Season 2 of Hip Hop Evolution is back on Netflix, thanks to our friends at Hot New Hip Hop. Could we have any more craziness happen
Really?
computer-wise
You want
tonight?
to say that this early in the show?
Well, that's a remnant from before.
Yeah.
The latest installment of Hip Hop Evolution was published today on Netflix. The second season of the docuseries will examine the regionality of hip-hop in America, even though, funny enough, the docuseries is produced and narrated by a Canadian production team, the host being Canuck rapper Shad, who once hosted a nationally syndicated talk radio show in his native country.
And produced by another Canadian.
Yes, Russell Peters,
Yeah.
friend of the show.
Yep.
The docuseries, which debuted in 2016, went on to win a Peabody Award. It was later screened at the Hot Docs International Documentary Festival, which inevitably saw it draw the interest of HBO and now Netflix for the second time running.
Peabody, not
Hip-
P-Booty.
Not booty, no.
Who's Booty?
Hip Hop Evolution's new 4-episode run will feature commentary from the likes of Puff Daddy, KRS-One, 2 Live Crew, and many more, beginning with a close inspection of the emergence of the Dirty South as a tour de force. The 4 episodes have a fairly straightforward focus. The first, entitled The Southern Way, showcases 2 Live Crew, the Ghetto Boys, and UGK, who we just did UGK a couple months ago, I think. Oh, Out the Trunk, The Bay, focuses on the digital underground, and Too Short. Do the Knowledge covers what showrunners refer to as conscious rap. Finally, New York State of Mind is not a Billy Joel episode, but it sheds light on the stories of New York heavyweights like Biggie, Nas, and a little group that you might have heard of that we talk about from time to time called The Woo.
I think we've mentioned them before.
Probably for what? 263 weeks running?
Yeah, right
maybe?
around there, yeah.
Somewhere around there. So look for Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix season 2.
Yeah.
However, do not look for Luke Cage season 3.
Look.
That came out late today, and I couldn't believe when I read
Yeah,
that.
I heard it yesterday because, as you know, giant Luke Cage fan. So everybody and their mom from the Geekiverse.
Talking about my moms.
Everybody from the Geekiverse comes to me and says, "Did you hear?" And I'm like, "Look, it's like I die a little bit every time somebody sends me this message." So I'm like the homie little half dead right now. And the only thing I can think of since they canceled dumbass Iron Fist is that they're gonna bring the two of them back together as Heroes for Hire and do the series that way because they were very good together. I loved Luke Cage by itself. Iron Fist was, but you know.
It's because you didn't like the kid.
No, he fucking crying ass Danny Rand.
Now we will go to Article 4.
Yes.
The article that you threw in here just to make me struggle with the fucking name.
I didn't know. I made it very easy so you didn't have to struggle with the name.
Yeah, because of the way you titled it, but you did it just to get a laugh.
I did it because you need to do more Outcast articles. That's why.
I hate Outcast.
Yeah. but other people like them, so we have to cover them
Other people like Fetty Wap, and we don't cover him.
because he's not classic.
Neither are these fools.
Yeah.
But you wrote it. I'll read it.
That's your
Just
job.
Just because,
Do your job.
yeah, table 4 is a boof. The Harvard Crimson.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
TheCrimson.com. I don't care what Ivy League it is. I still don't like them. 20 years of blending the classic and inventive in Outcasts, as Bill can't pronounce it, Aquemini.
Yes.
The King and I. For most early 2000 babies, Outkast evokes an earlier era of rap old enough to never have been one of our collective phases at school, but recent enough to make us feel nostalgic. Something about Outkast riles up my friends when the odd song comes on at a party in a way that most 90s and 2000s music can't. Be it Andre 3000's vibrant, rapid-fire vocals or the underlying beats that cannot have been much more conventional during Outkast's peak than they are now. September 29th marked the 20th anniversary of the release of Aquemini, the rap duo's third album, which was certified RIAA double platinum and on the Rolling Stones list of top 500 albums. Aquemini comes a long way from Outkast's 96 sophomore album, ATLiens, which I can pronounce,
Yes.
which contains more synthetic extraterrestrial-inspired background noise and mellow melodies. Like ATLiens, it maintains Outkast's newfound prevalence in the hip-hop scene and marks the start of a definitive upward trend and strong spell in Outkast's discography, paving the path for Stankonia and Speakerbox / The Love Below, which contain the timeless hits Ms. Jackson,
Ooh.
The Way You Move, and Roses. Aquemini draws upon a variety of musical traditions and presents them in a form that offers us a zeitgeist of a certain late 90s American South. They used the term zeitgeist.
They did.
All I can think of when I hear that is Brian Griffin. I'm part of the zeitgeist. Do you even know what zeitgeist? Well, yeah, Dana, which, by the way, is a girl's name. If I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't have said it. He said, you can shake your head all you want. Family Guy references never go out of style here.
It's my job to shake my head and to put in things like Aquemini.
Yes. Anyway, it's versatile in its appeal to admirers of funk, hip-hop, rap, and gospel, from old school players to new school fools, as sung in Skew It on the Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, Outkast was applauded for breaking a glass ceiling for Southern rappers who had been evaluated within the context of the New York rap that had prevailed in the previous group of decades and that had been credited with establishing and popularizing the genre. Through their encapsulation and legitimization of diverse styles and demolition of the borders that existed around hip-hop, Outkast made many transitions adoptable by future artists. And I'm not disputing any of this, by the way.
Yeah.
They are a very seminal group in the history of hip-hop. I listen to them, and I've tried on more than one occasion.
Yes. Yep.
And one or two tunes kind of catch your ear, but then some of them are just,
well,
maybe just because they're so damn obscure for me. I don't know. They are different.
I think a lot of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it is they are that Southern sound, which is not what we grew up listening to. We had what everybody knows is that East Coast boom bap. That's what we listened to. So anything.
Yeah, but we also picked up the Seattle scene really quick. We picked up the Oakland scene really quick.
But they weren't so far removed from the style that we were used to.
Yes, I said seminal, John.
Outkast was a complete style change. They were like the difference between the way Africa Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash and all those guys dressed, and then how LL Cool J and Run DMC dressed. this was another shift.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, we did not follow that shift. We were still in the LL Cool J era, say. So the people who came in listening to that Atlanta sound, which is what they made, that whole Southern sound, I attribute to them. And other people say, okay, well, the Ghetto Boys had a Southern sound. Well, that's a different Southern, and Master P. But they were...
See no motherfucking P.
They were a style. They weren't just a sound. Andre 3000 and Big Boy, they are style. They are their own, their look, the feel, the sound, everything.
Yeah, that I could not dispute. There's never been anything like them before. There's never been anything like them since.
No. So if you didn't get into that whole feel at the time, that's not something you can just go back and go, oh, now I get it. You can still like some of their music, but you don't appreciate Outkast for what they are because it didn't speak to you at the time.
Right.
And anybody who has never seen it, go look up Key and Peele Outkast skit, because it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's funny. Key and Peele, everything they do.
Andre who?
Go look it up. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Do a Google search. Do whatever you got to do.
Oh yeah, it's easy to find.
Anyway, back to the article. Aquemini takes off with a characteristic Outkast minute-long introductory track with minimal lyrics and mood-setting instrumentals, including light guitar and xylophone, accompanied by Hold On, Be Strong, sung as an uplifting hymn. It then moves straight into Return of the G, instrumentally slow and heartfelt, but with a much heavier beat, a synth background, and a bluesy chorus that layers the word gangsta and return.
Now, as soon as you say synth background, I think of Chris from the Gravy Age, Chris with a K.
Yeah, because he's the big synthesizer
He's
guy.
big synth guy, yeah.
Aquemini demonstrates an admirable adroitness. We had zeitgeist and adroitness. Who the fuck is... Oh, well, it's
seminal.
Harvard, so...
And you said seminal.
And seminal, yes. Well, welcome to Harvard.
Yeah.
And blending lyrics of varying gravity and theme, Return of the G criticizes addiction and crime in the context of parenthood, alongside crafty retorts to those who want them to conform to rap cliches or abandon unconventional styles. They say y'all be gospel rapping, but they be steady clapping when you talk about bitches and switches and hoes and clothes and weed. West Savannah tells the story of Big Boy's upbringing in his grandmother's care while his young mother worked, and of his revered teenage years dealing drugs to be put in cable off in every room. Finally, bare but powerful lyrics speaking to the fine line between love and hate come from the chorus of Liberation featuring CeeLo Green. The experimentation with the old and the new in Aquemini is bold, whether the slightly distasteful baby talk and the otherwise smooth song Slump, the catchy trumpet and Spotty Oddy Dopalicious.
They do have some awesome song names, man.
The conversation at the end of the recording of Rosa Parks, or the screechy background noise in Synthesizer. Rosa Parks is a personal favorite. It brings a hollow beat akin to clapping, 90s record scratching and turntable sound effects, and layered funk-inspired vocals, in addition to a bridge with a lively harmonica. And Rosa Parks is one of the Outkast tunes that I actually...
Yes, I know you like that one. Yep. And
it creates a...
See, you go talking about synths, and you bring in Chris from the Gravy Age.
I'm telling you, man, he's like Beetlejuice. You mention his name and he shows up. Hello, Chris.
Yeah. To catch you up, we were talking about the synths used in the Aquemini album. So check that out.
If you are indeed an Outkast fan.
Or not. You never know. If you're a synth fan.
Oh, he's a synth fan.
I know.
It creates a high energy unlike anything the Outkast created prior, and they managed to recreate it in hit songs like B.O.B. and Hey Ya of Stankonia and Speakerbox The Love Below.
Man, let me tell you, that Bombs Over Baghdad, that is a badass track. Now, I know every super fan of Outkast out there's going, yeah, but that's just one of the standards. It's kind of like, us saying, yeah, don't tell me you like Thick as a Brick. Get a little deeper with me. But that's one of them ones, I don't care how popular it is. It's popular for a reason.
Look, you can be a Tall fan and like Thick as a Brick. But a real Tull fan also listens to Dunringill
and Rainbow Blues.
and Rainbow Blues and Hymn 43. And
Fat Man. We could do this all day.
you know I'm going to be playing some Tull after we go
You
off
should be.
now. So.
Yeah. But yeah, but Bombs Over Baghdad is possibly my favorite Outkast song.
You know what? I like that one too.
See?
And
Yeah, Elevators. Yeah, see? You're going to start
now
digging in.
Elevators. Hey Ya, I always thought was kind of fun in a pop sort of way.
Well, that's what it was. That was Andre.
That is completely pop.
Yeah, it's Andre being Andre. That's what that one was.
The Way You Move is the same way, but that's because I just dug the music to it.
Ooh, Chris of Gravy Age coming with a wind-up reference.
Wow.
See, now that is a Tull fan.
Yes. Chris put his big boy pants on. I
Yeah.
like it. These songs of Aquemini not only set a precedent for their later albums, but for the future of rap and hip-hop, and encouraging similarly inventive and adoptive styles, as well as a new receptiveness to variety and experimentation among music consumers and critics. In listening and re-listening to Aquemini, the author couldn't help but draw parallels to specific songs by both modern hip-hop artists he listens to now, from Kendrick Lamar to Frank Ocean. It's clear that these artists are very unlike Outkast, but both have certain aspects that reflect their style, like the funk elements of To Pimp a Butterfly, which is kind of where I was thinking with that too, because that's the only Kendrick album I ever listened to because it got such big buzz around Grammy time a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that when I listened to it a little bit, I was like, yeah, Kendrick must have listened to some Outkast growing up. Lick 2 fingers clean, nice. Anyway, the editing of Frank Ocean's instrumentals in certain songs on Channel Orange. Unlike Michael Jackson or David Bowie, Outkast may never be named one of the most influential artists of a century, but the duo has a quieter legacy, such as the new convention of unconventionality. I would say they probably are one of the more influential acts of the early, maybe late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and very heavy influence in the South. In the sound that became, when they left that bass booty shaking,
the Miami bass sound, the 95 South, the tag
all
team
left.
Yeah,
they were the Southern De La Soul, as far as the way that they influenced and changed.
Yeah, on a different level, because they didn't have that ethereal De La Soul sound.
Right, but that was their Southern. They were the Southern version.
But they were, and now for something completely different. That's what they were as far as the Southern hip hop scene goes.
What up, Jay Slide?
Our next article is super long.
Yeah, and you know what? At this point of the night, you can just mention it and skip it if you want.
We haven't. I don't know if we've done this record.
I think we did.
If we did, it was a long time ago.
Yes.
And all this does is just tell us that we're getting really, really old.
There's been a whole lot of these lately.
Yeah.
That make you go, what? Really?
Well, that's because, we're getting to the 25th anniversary of a lot of things, because it's now 25, 30 years. In fact, we're 30 years out. I just had my 30-year reunion, graduated in 88, from the greatest year in hip-hop.
Yeah.
And, 5 years later, some really good stuff came out, too.
Yeah.
One of which was Black Moon with Enter the Stage.
Such a great record.
And
Who Got the Props Alone is reason to buy this record. And again, I'll go with the most mainstream track on the record.
I mean, it's really weird. It was such a completely different record too, like Outkast was, because this thing had like Jamaican dub bass combined with jazz and these
Bomb Squad was in this, weren't they?
Really
in the production.
I think so, but who were the Black Moon members? Were Buckshot,
yeah, that's
5 foot Accelerator.
Yep.
Evil D was the DJ,
right? He went on to be with the Beat Miners
and Mr. Wall, and that's
Everybody remembers Buckshot.
They were out the same time as like Onyx and Gangstar and Biggie and Woo, but sounded completely different.
Yeah.
And held their own niche really, really well.
Yes.
But you can just listen to Buckshot and know that he was a KRS-One disciple.
Oh yeah, and he did stuff with KRS later on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called. It was in the 2000s, in the mid 2000s. It was I want to say it had something to do with robot. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Yeah, and he was a dancer too. He was a dancer before he was a rapper.
Really?
And he is in the background. If you ever watch House of Pain's Jump Around video, he's in the back of it.
Speaking of House of Pain, okay, did you happen to catch MC Search doing his live stream through Kickstarter the other day?
I did not.
He's in studio with Chubb Rock down in Atlanta.
I saw he was with him. I
Yes.
didn't get a chance to watch.
And some dude comes in. I don't know who he was. Just dude comes walking in, says to Search, "Man, you guys were the best, and you had the greatest line ever." And then proceeds to quote him an Everlast line,
Oh,
and then rolled out. And
Oh.
Search turns and goes, "Because all us white guys look alike, right?" And then went right back into. I'm like, Pumice was on, and I was talking to him at the time. I said, "Did that dude just quote an Everlast line at Search saying this is your greatest line?"
You know what that reminds me of? The beer commercial where it's Benicio del Toro and the people want his picture and they go, "Antonio Banderas."
Yeah, I could not believe
No,
that. I said,
motherfucker, no.
Wow. He just said he was Everlast.
Well, he could have been because, Everlast is in effect.
Big respect.
And he collects big checks.
Yes.
So, Black Moon, turning 25 this year.
Yeah.
It's not a featured record this week, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's well worth listening to. So,
I have to go look it up. I am positive we have done it. I just
and
don't
if
know how
not,
long
don't
ago
be
it was.
surprised if we do it within the next couple of weeks. Because dumber things have happened.
Yeah.
You know what else we haven't done? And I actually, in one of the games I was reffing last night,
Mhm.
they play music in between whistles and stuff, and I don't normally pay much attention to it.
Mhm.
I'm fetching a puck, and all of a sudden I fucking hear the Bloodhound Gang come across the loudspeaker. And I stopped, and I looked up, and I looked over at the guy in the box, and I said to him, I said, "Do you know all the words to this?" He goes, "No, I don't know any of them." And I said,
Bloodhound Gang and Rob Van Winkle together on this track.
well, no, he did the bad touch just because,
I
that's the
assumed,
one
yeah.
everybody knows.
Yes.
Because I don't think you could get away with doing Kiss Me Where It Smells Funny
No.
in the middle of a hockey ring. But anyway,
If anywhere there were, that would be the place.
that would be the locker room, man. That's where it stinks.
Hey, what up, Lieutenant Tom hanging out with us?
That's also where you could play Stankonia, because
could.
you get some Stankonia in the locker room. Anyway, our next article is Leaders of Hip Hop Day.
Yeah.
And this comes to us from tapinto.net. Tap into East Orange /Orange. I'm assuming that's California.
Maybe. Or New Jersey.
Or
Who
New
knows?
Jersey. Because you know what? The oranges, that's the worst part of New Jersey to drive through is the oranges.
Mhm.
Let's see which one it is. Dateline, New Jersey. Hello.
Ah, look out.
Which would make sense considering who's headlining this
Right.
thing. Lords of the Underground kick off 25th anniversary celebration headlining Hip Hop Day at the 13th annual Lincoln Park Music Festival.
Yes,
Lincoln
that has,
Park.
that has nothing to do
They're not they're not recording anymore.
No,
Chester doesn't have a very good voice anymore.
I wouldn't think so.
It's a shame too. I actually like them a lot. You and I picked them up before they got big.
Mhm.
In fact, I think we listened to them when their band name was still Hybrid Theory,
yes.
which is what they turned the album into.
Yep.
Anyway, Newark, New Jersey, hello. This year, Lords of the Underground kicked off the 25th anniversary celebration of their debut album, Here Come the Lords, by headlining Hip Hop Day at the 13th annual Lincoln Park Music Festival this past July. Special guests included Flip Mode Squad, Outside as MCs, Rod Digger,
Rod
Grammy
Digger was just here the
nominated.
other night.
Huh?
Rod Digger was just here the other night, and I missed it.
Grammy nominated Tretch of Naughty by Nature, and legendary 80s rap superstar Kangol Kid from UTFO.
First
Linkin
hip-hop
Park
cassette I ever bought.
Yep. Linkin Park Music Festival, Newark Symphony Hall, and Jerry's Vodka hosted the official 25th anniversary of Low Tug Hip Hop Day after party on Sunday, where surprise performances included a pop-up by Leah Janae of The Four on Fox by Piss Dookie.
Mm-hmm.
To mark their silver anniversary, Low Tug were given proclamations from the city of Newark, New Jersey at the after party. MC Dupre, Do It All Kelly, stated, "Growing up in Newark, New Jersey, one of my dreams was to become successful as a hip-hop star. That was achieved with the success of our group, Lords of the Underground, and our debut album entitled Here Come the Lords. 25 years later, it was an honor to be celebrated by Linkin Park Music Festival, the fans, and the city of Newark."
And he was running for office, too.
He was,
Do It All
not
was,
too
yeah.
terribly long ago. Known for lively lyrics, hard-hitting, funk-infused beats. Of course they're funk-infused. They had Mr. Funky.
The Lord Chief Rockin' #1, Mr. Funky.
And classic samples. The debut album, Here Come the Lords, was produced by the legendary Marley Marl and his protege, K-Def, who also joined the celebration at Linkin Park Music Festival. "Lord's 25th anniversary had me in total amazement," said K-Def. "There were so many people from all over in one place showing love for the culture of hip-hop and the Lords. It brought back a lot of great memories of dealing with my old crew, the legend Marley Marl and the Lords of the Underground. Blessed to have been a part of that." 5 of the album's singles charted on Billboard, including Here Come the Lords, Funky Child, and the iconic Chief Rocka, a mainstay on any hip-hop mix show playlist since it dropped over 25 years ago. Chief Rocka was then sampled and formed the basis of another hip-hop classic, Notorious B.I.G.'s Machine Gun Funk. MC Al Tariq, Mr. Funky Wardrick, said, "To be honored by the city I was raised in for what we do is all anyone could ask for. Thank you to the city of Newark, Mayor Baraka, and the Linkin Park Cultural Coast District Organization for everything. What a memorable night." Newark's adopted son, Anthony Colston, known as DJ Lord Jazz, the sole member not from New Jersey, added, "It was an honor and definitely a blessing to come back to Newark, New Jersey, the city that adopted me from Cleveland, Ohio. The crowd was amazing, just like the sold-out shows in Europe that we do. I count it all joy." Anthony Smith, the executive director of Linkin Park Coast Cultural District, stated, "To honor one of Newark's own on our stage, who has given so much hope to our youth and instilled so much pride in the city of Newark for more than 25 years, is what Linkin Park Music Festival is all about. Providing a platform for unsung legends in arts and culture to get their accolades while simultaneously nurturing the next generation. Lords of the Underground, Queen Latifah's, Redmans, and Naughties is in alignment with our mission. We uplift the community through arts and culture, and we are thankful that the Lords of the Underground chose to celebrate with us." And it goes on and on and on. But
hey, longtime posse member Brian at New Sun 84
oh,
hanging out with us tonight.
wow, haven't seen him in a long time.
I know he's been hiding on us.
He says, "You know I have to check in." Well, that's good. We've missed you. Our final article of hip-hop headlines, Jamie and I almost got to witness this firsthand. Unfortunately,
Fucking canceled the show on us.
I think the city of Poughkeepsie canceled the show.
I think
on
they
us.
did too. Over this very
This.
thing. Yeah.
And it comes to us from the New York Post, nypost.com. "Hey, did you know the Beastie Boys have kept a giant penis in storage for 30 years?
It doesn't surprise me, but
When the Beastie Boys first hit it big in 1987, they were seen as Animal House frat dudes thanks to the video for the first single, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, which became an MTV staple.
did it.
The clip depicted the guys, Brooklyn native MCA, Adam Yauch, and Manhattanites, Ad Rock, Adam Horovitz, and Mike D, Mike Diamond, as house-trashing, pie-throwing, oversexed pyromaniacs.
It's a lot
People
of
took
stuff
it at
going
face
on.
value, even though, as Horovitz writes in the Beastie Boys book, out on October 30th, which I will probably buy,
Yeah, I have it in my Amazon cart already.
the Beasties were mocking the very thing they hated. Sloppy drunk dude trying to creep on young women was repugnant to punks like us. But the joke was on them. Unfortunately, when you're a straight guy in your late teens, early 20s, you can easily fall into the stereotype's own trappings. Horowitz writes. We became what we hated. In the decade since, the band has apologized repeatedly for their lyrics and behavior from those days. Lieutenant Tom called us gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? And Miss Dunmire joined us, who had a birthday
see
the other
that.
day.
Happy birthday, Gail. It says in the decades they've apologized, and behavior from those days, a fair amount of the book, which is also a love letter to MCA, who passed away from cancer in 2012, is devoted to those regrets. Here's a roundup of some of their wildest, worst early history. They fired their drummer for being a girl.
Yeah.
From 81 to 84, the Beasties featured a Beastie girl. Kate Schellenbach played drums for the group as they transitioned from punk to hip-hop. We kicked Kate out of the band because she didn't fit into our new tough guy rapper identity, Horowitz laments in the book. Maybe Kate would have eventually quit the band because we were starting to act like a bunch of fucking creeps, but it was just shitty the way it happened, and I am so sorry about it. In the book, Schellenbach blames the split on producer Rick Rubin, saying he gave the band an ultimatum of working with him or with her. Part of me was jealous of their success, she admits, although she knows she wouldn't have been happy if she had stayed. What would I be doing when they were rapping about fucking a girl with a wiffle ball bat?
And that's true.
All was eventually forgiven, and the Beasties' own record label, Grand Royal, released music by Schellenbach's band Luscious Jackson in the early 1990s. They almost called their first album Something Awful. And we talked about this when we did the record.
Yeah, we have mentioned this.
Although Horowitz and Diamond never explained how they landed on the title of their debut album, Licensed to Ill, they're grateful that they changed it.
Yeah, because I don't know how well they would have done
in the
public eye.
And they never would have gotten any kind of mainstream press for this.
Oh, no. Or if they did, it wouldn't have been any good.
The original title to this record was, and I quote, not my words, theirs, "Don't be a faggot."
Yep.
It was Rick Rubin's idea, Horowitz reveals in the book. It was meant to be a joke about jock frat dudes, but homophobia is not funny, and we are truly sorry. And they've actually done a lot of, glad work and things like that just to prove their point.
Yeah, it was one of those, this is who we're supposed to be. We're representing these people. This is what they would do.
Right. The third thing, they're still spending money on a giant penis.
Yeah.
So are we every time we pay our taxes to our president.
This is true.
You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party was chosen as a single by the band's label Def Jam in February 1987, even though the Beasties considered it a throwaway.
That's the craziest part. It was just a throwaway song. They didn't expect.
They hated that song.
Yeah.
It was immediately picked up by MTV and became a hit, but the band quickly soured on the track and the dumb jock stereotype it represented. So much so, they never played it live after their 87 tour.
See, that I didn't know.
But one remnant lingers. A giant hydraulic penis that would pop up on stage when the trio played the song. According to Rolling Stone magazine, it stood 20 feet tall.
It's a 7-foot man.
Seemed funny at the time, but you got to really think before you say or do some dumb shit, Horowitz writes of the decision to have the prop created. Think about the people you care about most. Will they be embarrassed for you and of you? Yes. And you'll end up paying 30 years worth of storage locker fees in New Jersey for a 5-foot by 5-foot dick in a box.
Not the Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg one.
No. They inspired car theft.
Yeah, they did.
In the You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party video, Mike D sported a Volkswagen medallion on a thick gold chain. This allegedly led fans across the U.S. and U.K. to steal the logos right off of the grills of VWs. This is not alleged. This happened.
This happened at our high school.
We did this.
Yep.
Eventually, the car maker found a way to capitalize on the trend, creating an ad with a photo of a rabbit missing its hood ornament and the line, "Designer labels always get ripped off." The company cheekily nodded to the band. Many owners have been heard to outswear a Beastie Boy. The results of finding their badges have gone missing, and offered a free medallion to anyone who asked.
See, and this is before the internet days. We'd have known that. We'd have been in there.
Chris says he heard MC 900-foot Jesus only had a 20-foot penis.
Yeah, and going by the ratio of height to length, I think that he's not overwhelming anyone.
No. It's kind of hard for a 900-foot Jesus to get squinted on. They used to hunt rats in Chinatown, and I don't mean hood rats.
No.
During the mid-'80s, Mike D and MCA shared an apartment at 59 Christie Street, which was rat-infested because employees of sweatshops on the same floor would leave bags of trash in the hallway. The landlord suggested the guys take care of the problem by killing one of the vermin and leaving it out to scare off the others. I don't think that works.
No.
Some people might go to the hardware store and buy a trap. The Beasties had other ideas.
But they have cars.
We bought these pellet guns, some CO2 cartridges, and a gang of pellets, Diamond writes. Late that night, we rolled in a bit buzzed. We grabbed our loaded pistols and started kicking the huge garbage bags. Sure enough, rats came streaming out of them. Somehow, we actually nailed a couple and then left them dead in the hallway for a few days.
Yay.
It worked. As Diamond writes, now we were free to go about inviting girls back to our place. Just don't mind the dead rats in the hallway.
Just step over that there. Don't worry.
Why? Because they're keeping away the live ones.
Yes.
That is Hip Hop Headlines for episode 247. We will take our first break of the evening, refresh our Coffee cups.
Yes, because, man, do we need a break after this.
And we'll come back and hopefully shit will work right. And we'll bring you some woo news and some music. There's only one way to find out, though. You want to ride the shit train? Come on board after the break, episode 247.
Cool. Let me pull up some woo real quick.
Oh, God.
We'll get into it.
Get it hard. Protect your record. That's pretty well done.
Thank you.
Licata, give me some of these. So we got 3 pieces.
Yes.
All right, man.
Should have everything. Okay, we'll come over here. And hey, that damn Jesse Pittsburgh.
Holy shit. Everybody coming out of the woodwork.
Everybody. All right, I'm going to hit this
Everybody.
drop. All right, I'm going to hit this drop, and then we'll get into some woo and see how jacked up the woo video is.
It's going to be terrible.
Let me hit something real quick. Pay no attention to this.
RZA, Jizza, Raekwon, Master
Turn
Killer.
that off. Okay, so we're gonna hit this
Drop.
and we'll get into some woo. So let's bring it in with a Shree. Woo's your mama?
Let's take it back to the old school. Let's take it to Union Square.
This is Greg N.I.C.E. and you're listening to my boys, Jamie and Bill, on that only classic hip-hop podcast that matters, Mr. Throwback. Let's take it back to the old school. Let's take it to Union Square. Let's take it back with my boys, Jamie and Bill, because they was there.
Union Square. Let's take it back to the LQ. Wave your hands like you just don't care. Let's take it back to the old school. Let's take it to Union Square. Let's take it back to the LQ. Wave your hands like you just don't care.
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, An old dirty bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Shimmy, shimmy, y'all.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 247. It is indeed time for Woo News, and we actually got through a bumper without too much issue.
Without too much. See, you just gotta pregame it.
You gotta temper your expectations on nights like this. Anyway, let us start Woo News with Protect Your Record.
Yes.
This comes to us from themusicuniverse.com. Wu-Tang celebrate their debut with a logo-shaped die-cut picture disc.
And
How is that even going to spin?
That's what I'm saying. I looked at it and I said, man, that's cool, but how do you spin that and not destroy your needle?
You don't. You don't. Certified Classic celebrates the 25th anniversary of Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers with a limited run of Wu-Tang Clan's iconic third single, Cream, as a special die-cut 10-inch picture disc in the shape of the legendary Wu-Tang logo. Originally released in 2014 as a Record Store Day exclusive, the reissue vinyl is backed with the single's original B-side, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, which will be available on December. Huh?
They just did on what you call it, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang was on there.
Really?
Friday night he did his Brooklyn show for a week, and Wu-Tang did the Friday night show.
Excellent. Well, The Mystery of Chess Boxing is available on December 14th at the Certified Classic store. Merch bundles will also be available. Certified has also teamed up with Live Nation, Wu-Tang's official merch company, to release an exclusive 36 Chambers t-shirt to commemorate this milestone album anniversary. The special edition t-shirt will be bundled together with Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers album on 12-inch black vinyl. The rerun Wu-Tang logo picture-shaped vinyl, a limited edition numbered print of the album, and more. Additionally, in conjunction with the anniversary, Wu-Tang Clan is set to perform on Jimmy Kimmel Live to close out the show's Brooklyn, New York. Ran last Friday. There you go.
I told you.
They perform songs from Enter the Wu. Additional announcements coming in the weeks ahead. With their 93 debut album, which has just been recertified 3 times platinum with the RIAA, the 9-man clan created a rich, innovative labyrinth to explore and created the benchmark of culture-defining greatness. Sonically and lyrically, the body of work is a neck-breaking rush through the raw cracks and crevices of every room and chamber. Wu-Tang cemented their names, lyrics, sound, and symbol in the unforeseen tomorrow by making what wasn't in their present. By doing so, they gave hip-hop one of her greatest gifts to be passed down by the generation. You know what's funny? It's like old home week. We had New Sun 84, Brian jumped on.
Yep.
We got Jesse Pittsburgh, that damn Jesse Pittsburgh, who we haven't seen in months.
Years.
I'm almost wondering who the next one's going to come out of the out of the woodwork.
And Chris from the Gravy Age stopped in.
Yeah.
Lesbian Chris, not Chris with a CH.
I wasn't going to go there. I'll let you do it.
Hey, if you've been around long enough, hung around the high voltage network people, you know Lesbian Chris.
Our next article you have entitled, How Low?
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Redman, Reggie Noble, talks MTV's How High sequel being made without him and his partner in crime. Him.
Yes.
The Def Squad MC breaks down how the duo was left out of the new television version. Fans of How High were disappointed. And by the way, this comes to us from allhiphop.com. Fans of How High were disappointed that Redman and weren't tapped to appear in MTV's sequel of How High. One supporter even started a petition in order to pressure the film's director to hire the two East Coast MCs. How High 2 is reportedly set to star Lil Yachty as Roger and DC Young Fly as Calvin. Bruce Letty is directing the made-for-TV flick, which is expected to air in 2019. Redman called into the Grassroots podcast, and the man born Reggie Noble discussed the originator's omission from How High 2.
Hey, Reggie, you can call us at any time.
Absolutely. We'll give you the number. Me and Meth were not aware they were doing this transaction with the movie. I'm not mad at Yachty or DC Fly. It has nothing to do with them. I'm not even upset because God always places things in the right position, asserted Redman. My thing is, when you have a brand like Red and Meth, that kind of helped build and created this entity of How High, and shooting a movie on marijuana and being in college, those were all of our ideas. And when the new deal for part 2 came about, we wasn't involved in it.
Yeah.
The creator of the upcoming Muddy Waters 2 album added, the head of Universal and the people that we were connected with about shooting How High 2, they were unaware. What happened is that a branch that's under Universal decided that they were going to shoot this movie. They did not need permission from us because we didn't own the rights to How High. As far as me and Meth know, we were waiting on a new script to read for How High 2, said Red. Out of the blue, we get calls from everywhere like, yo, Lil Yachty is starring in the movie. Or MTV picked up How High 2. And I'm like, wait a minute. We got writers that's writing a movie. We got people up at Universal that's giving us a green light. What's going on?
That's the part that threw me. I didn't know that they were working on... Okay, I had heard that there was work being done on the second one.
Right.
But then when I heard this MTV thing, I'm like, oh, I guess it's just...
Maybe that was it.
Yeah. But to go and do another one when somebody's actually writing a big screen second one, that's kind of messed up.
Mm-hmm. The original How High hit theaters back in 2001. Meth and Red also released a soundtrack tied to the movie. That project came after the Wu-Tang Clan member and Def Squad member dropped the platinum certified Blackout joint LP in 1999, which is a kick-ass record.
It is.
So, I guess Red's not overly angry. He's just kind of like, yo, talk to a brother first.
Yeah, he's kind of like, you know, when you piss your parents off, you know, I'm not mad, just disappointed. Oh, man.
Our last one, Licata, get me some of this. And it starts with something that you might have heard from this show before.
Yeah.
Comes to us from revolt.tv, and it says, each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Raekwon raises the bar with new luxury wine, Licata.
That's what I said. Licata, get me some of this. He was wearing a Licata shirt on Jimmy Kimmel. I didn't know what the hell it was until I saw this article this weekend.
And now you're like, Yeah. As KRS-One articulated throughout his catalog and in his many teachings, rap is something you do, hip-hop is something you live.
Truth.
As the culture continues to evolve today, many feel it's not only important, but vital to preserve and honor the fundamental elements: graffiti, emceeing, breakdancing, DJing, and knowledge. This column, called Each One Teach One, aims to do exactly that. It will highlight various lessons that can be passed between new and old generations alike. Raekwon is a pioneer, and true to form, he's not ready to sit back, take a look at his expansive accomplishments, and call it a day. The hip-hop legend, who's best known for his work with the Wu-Tang Clan and his solo albums, has consistently reinvented himself over the years. He's studied the changing landscape of hip-hop, perfected his business savvy, and he's always kept his knives sharp. On Tuesday, October 16th, the Staten Island native celebrated the beginning of his next chapter. He introduced his new luxury wine called Licata to a mixed crowd of music, wine, and food industry professionals prior to its launch on November 16th. I wonder if Fly Ricky the wine taster was there.
Man, he was.
Raekwon looked proud as he donned a baby blue silk suit and greeted those in attendance with genuine cheer. There's something really special about witnessing a seasoned recording artist being truly present and engaged in the moment, especially considering the impact spending 2+ decades in the spotlight could have on a person. Engaged and truly present in the moment. That's the anti-Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, no. The present part is anti-Lauryn Hill.
All them drinks, that damn Jesse Pittsburgh wants to know how often you have to pee.
I tell you, you have got to stay hydrated. You damn right.
That's right. Because it's like 78 degrees in his thing, so he's sweating it all out.
Yeah.
Anyway, with Raekwon, an air of authenticity, gratitude, and humility surrounds him, making him an exceptional person to learn from. As a kid, I always carried myself with a sense of prestige despite my grim circumstances, the rapper said to the crowd from the back of Esther and Carol, a copacetic restaurant in Lower Manhattan. I knew that I was destined for something bigger than what it was. I just didn't know when it was coming. I carried with me that same mentality as I grew into a man who later became an artist, a hustler, an icon, and lastly, but not least, a hip-hop legend. As my career continues to evolve, becoming involved in the world of wine, this was something I felt was a perfect fit. Ray then explained what wine means to him. He shared that it reflects a certain lifestyle, one that exemplifies style, prestige, luxury, and pleasure. The legend went on to outline the parallels between his classic 95 solo debut, Only Built for Cuban Links, and his newest endeavor. He said that when approaching both projects, loyalty, strength, and accountability, as well as top-tier quality and dedication, is what sets his approach apart from the pack. Raekwon is in the business of creating timeless work. Though the recipe to success may be a little different for everyone and changes over time, it's about creating with meaning for Ray. That has been a constant in his career, and the fact that he's still standing here, still maintaining through the madness, and still producing work that he's proud of, reinforces how staying true to one's vision and expression is a key part of the process. I've done 20 years worth of work. I wanted to refurbish my whole way of thinking right now and do other things that still complement me in a way outside of music, he shared with Revolt TV at the Lakata event. When I look back at the music I've done, I look at it like a vessel. I was able to build my art and take it where I want to take it. So now I want to show something different to the world. Liquor's cool to drink and get drunk and party, but wine, there's something different about it. It touches people's hearts. Artists such as John Legend, with Legend Vineyard Exclusive, Nicky Garbage with Mix Fusions, Lil Jon with Little Jonathan Winery, and Fergie with Ferguson Crest have ventured out into wine country throughout their careers, inspiring other musicians to carve lanes for themselves outside of the studio. While there are many lessons to be found woven into the multifaceted paths of our favorite rappers and musicians, for Raekwon the chef, he hopes the up-and-coming generation takes note of the fact that hard work yields the best results. I want them to work as hard as they're supposed to work, and I just want them to know that the sky's the limit, Ray added, about how he hopes his latest business move inspires the next generation to follow suit. We expect people to be caught up in the little things, so you have to brand yourself in the most respectful way now and try to focus on the bigger picture. Me, being here where I am, I always talk to younger artists on that level. They come to me. They look at me like a real OG. To me, an OG is when you're like 67, but it's like building a pyramid. You have to keep building. Music is just a vessel for me, the foundation. It helps me to step up and get to the next level. As we look to learn from those who will always hold an important place in history, it's arguably the most interesting to witness how they approach giving back and moving forward when technically legends such as Raekwon don't owe anyone a goddamn thing.
And that's the truth, Ruth.
As exemplified by Raekwon's Lakata brand, the need for a creative outlet doesn't dissipate after cementing oneself in the rap game. Instead, new business ideas and endeavors emerge, often presenting next-level challenges to overcome. We can't help but trust that not only is Ray up for the challenge, he's already inspiring others to keep thinking outside of the box as well. As countless silver bottles holding the red, subtly effervescent wine were popped and shared throughout the lighthearted celebratory gathering, the 48-year-old was proven right. There is something special about wine, and his wine Lakata specifically. Perhaps it's that it carries the stamp of approval from such a storied, well-respected innovator, or maybe it's because it's further proof that the only limits are the ones we place on ourselves. I'd like to try that, to be honest with you.
That's what I said. Lakata, get me some of that.
Because Janelle's been drinking a lot of wine recently, so I've been,
subject to
dabbling in it a little bit.
Yeah,
subject to a glass here and there. I don't go crazy on it like her.
I don't whine.
Huh?
I don't whine.
I don't wine much. I do drink a little bit of wine from time to time. Anyway, our last piece of news is that You God still sucks. That's not a story. That's just facts. ODB is still dead. That's not a story. That's just facts, too.
Yep. Although, if you watch the Jimmy Kimmel episode, you might not believe that he's dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was an appearance, a live person appearance.
And the plot doth thicken.
Mm.
And that brings us to our first record for this week, which is our one and done. And our one and done came to us back in, as I switch screens, back on September 1st of 1998.
A number.
It was a number. It was recorded at Soundtrack Studios in New York. This record has 16 tracks on it. And it is the one and only album. So therefore a true one and done.
One and done. There's not a lot of those that we really get.
It's called the Imperial album, and it's by Flip Mode Squad.
Yes. Let me see if I can find. Ta-da. Now everybody gets to look at it.
Ta-da.
Yeah. You go right ahead. Do your thing.
So you found it, and let's take a look. As I said, I think 16 tracks. Our track number 1, kind of, sort of, title track, because the name of the album is the Imperial album, and track 1 is the Imperial intro.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got, Sean.
It's a 5-minute intro. That's a long ass intro.
They mean that shit.
Do me a favor, pull over by the store. Need something?
Here, give me a sample.
Pass me the $2 on the ashtray. I'll be right back. Hey, Pancho, what's going down?
¿Qué pasa? What's happening, my friend?
Chilling, no doubt, baby. Nah, man.
Yes. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm
Tell
just
me.
chilling, Pancho. I'm passing on through right now. Coming in the store.
That's enough intro.
Yes. Track number 2, To My People.
To my people in the front.
You don't stop.
To my people in the rear.
Say what?
Throw your hands in the air.
You don't stop.
To my people on the left.
You don't stop.
To my people on the right.
You don't stop.
To my people everywhere.
Say what?
Throw your hand in the air.
You don't stop.
To my people in New York.
You don't stop.
To my people down south.
You don't stop.
To my people out west.
Say what?
Throw your hand in the air.
But keep them where my eyes can see.
Track number 3, Setting It Off.
I think I'm about to black out. I'll throw your fucking wig out. Niggas who thought they captured me, fuck that, I'm about to rip out, and then I flip out. Make a whack nigga ship out, harbor the jet, go on vacation and take a trip out. I make y'all niggas jump up, bitches they wanna love up. Open over my click, stay watching the niggas come up.
Like, does Busta start every track on this album?
I think so. He is the unofficial voice of Flip Mode Squad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got Rampage, you got Rod Digger. I don't know who all else was on this album, but I know they were major members.
Yeah.
But just Busta starts all the tracks.
Maybe he's the Paul McCartney of Flip Mode Squad.
Maybe.
Track number 4, Run for Cover. Yes, I compared the Beatles to Flip Mode Squad.
Why not?
Want to talk shit in the motherfucking room? I got something for your motherfucking ass, nigga. Check it out. Rampage, I'm coming express. Do your chest in your Lex GS. Stop talking BS. My watch is still flooded. 850 for the budget. I'm rugged. Cats get gutted. Robbed and stabbed. Send they rusty ass straight to the lab. Use a crab. I take mines off the top like Fab. Hit you with a jab for the 9-8. Number 1 in Billboard with the triangle shape. Flip mode on every mixtape.
Rampage is one of those dudes that just got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, really talented guy who, for one reason or another, sounds really good on this record, but never really stepped out.
Yeah.
Track number 5, I Got Your Back.
So this thing going on here, man. You got problems.
Catching my fever. Block the passage of the last weaver. You don't love my squad. Fuck you. We don't love your ass neither. Way off the meter.
Yo, boss, me and Split, we got heaters. Everything, alright? Let's get a drink up inside of cheaters. Go up and cheaters. See this motherfucker named Peter. Trying to stick me for 5 bricks with his bronze skin skeezer.
There's Digger.
When Digga comes in, she comes in hard. She doesn't do anything soft. Track number 6, this is what happens.
Who that nigga? Fry Digger. Rampage. Yeah, man. The word in the street is flip mode has arisen. True. But there's a lot of player haters that's trying to play hate show. Fuck out of here. Word up. Do you have something to say, Fry Digger? You're right. You're right. You're right.
Like what? Talk about who rips it right. Always keep a crowd going like a schoolyard fight. Always hold it down lovely when it's time to build. Then doing musical chairs like Levert, Sweat, and Gill. Doubt me. Niggas on the internet shout me.
Like Levert, Sweat, and Gill.
Ooh. Rock coming in hard on that one.
Yes. I said
Track
she was just out in Virginia Beach like 2 days ago.
Track number 7, Everybody on the Line Outside.
Flip mode, word bond, flip mode coming, word bond, flip mode's here, word bond, feel no fear, word bond, 1998, hot shit, hitting you up, niggas you don't like it. Yo, crazy, making your nigga look shady. Admire the nigga and let me shine, baby. Shine my nigga through Yeti, yo, it's already.
Track number 8, Last Night.
Last night.
Yeah. So me do, so me say, yeah. How many me dance last night? What's a boy face last night? True thing. Me couldn't find me night. So me say, so me go and get me night. What me do? Last night was a serious night. What's a boy face last night? Me couldn't find.
What's a boy's face last night?
Busta doesn't break into the Jamaican thing very often, but he does it well.
Yep.
Track number 9, Where You Think You Going?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the unit for the 9-8. Flip mode squad, baby. Where you That's right. Oh, you sucker MCs stuck in hiding and stuff. Come back here. Where you think you going, nigga? Come back here. Y'all niggas ain't saying jack shit.
Hey yo, speak the truth. Too short to let it hurt. Some talk dirt and be the first laying in hearse. Freestyling off the hum of the birds. Fall back, wanna shine on my shine. Do shows, follow behind in some fucked up vehicle.
Track number 10, We Got You Open, Part 2. I don't remember Part 1.
Like the 4 little kids and a teacher getting plucked. With the I don't give a fuck style. Tell me come jiggy, I rock kicks and swishy. Copping my wet with 2 counterfeit 50s. What? Dirty girl rhymes, spit mucus. Speech uncouth and raise the roof like Lucas. 12 years and rock through all phases. Watch your peep scream, the bitch was the blazes.
Niggas run their mouth about my clique, not smart. I butt your blood.
Now Digga dropped the Moet reference. Why did people stop sipping Moet?
Y'all sipped the Moet because we got the champagne. I don't know.
Yeah, there used to be everybody used to sip Moet in all their tracks, and then one day it was just gone.
I mean, hell, the King's Son D Moet.
Yeah.
Track number 11, Straight Spittin'.
Yeah. I bust all you cats in the game for malpractice. I'm in Jersey, where I'm playing no taxes. I stick your girl Agnes, flip mode, bring the madness. Platinum status, rampage, I'm the baddest. Check the credit, yo, you might as well dead it. I said it, fuck the edit, it's uncut. Nigga, what? It's crunch time for me to shine. I'ma show you easily for me to take mine. Pass my nickel plated 9, call me Einstein. I'm bucking shots 2 times to stick you for your rhyme.
2 times.
Track number 12. This is not an AC/DC track.
It's not.
Because money talks. Bullshit runs a marathon.
See, nowadays, young niggas get a lot of money. See, the fact is that young niggas is self-employed now. We living in a time frame where it's all big business. We gotta understand that the young niggas is running big business. This is how we gonna do it. Check it out.
Look, and I was cleaning up outside right outside my back gate, which opens to the street.
Yep.
And there was a plastic bottle, because I guess they don't make glass bottles for big beers anymore. A plastic bottle of Steel Reserve, 211.
Oh, good Lord.
Now, they're fucking up the whole game because it wasn't a 40-ounce bottle. It was a 42-ounce bottle.
42?
That's what I said. What kind of stupid shit is that?
Unless they giving props to Jackie Robinson, there ain't no reason to make a 42.
I don't know, that 211, they be doing some stupid stuff.
Track number 13. And this is not an MC Light song.
It is not.
But it is called Cha Cha Cha.
Baby Shan, Rock Digger, Split Star, Flip Mode, in your face. You wanna battle? Yo, it's my time to shine and I'ma shine bright. Terrorize the mic, get the crowd hype, make them wanna fight. You see the rhymes I construct, flows I conduct. They mess up the party like somebody got bucked.
It's bad enough when they went from glass to plastic, but 42.
Yeah. Track number 14, Hit 'em with the Heat. You don't need that extra 2 ounces.
No, it's just going to get warm anyway.
Motherfucker. Flip mode. Yeah. Flip. Check it out. Rap, I've been ill since back in the days. Rockin' show told Adidas with rags for my waves. Flip on we the unit, now I'm playing for the Braves. I'm a hardcore nigga that's straight from the gutter. I used to play Skelly plus hot peas and butter. Now I'm the nigga that's running in your baby mother. Burgundy yak, you can call me Grand Lover. And now I'm tapping pokey with my Louisville slugger.
John Henderson says that's so you can take a swig before pouring one out. So that's that extra 2 ounces.
Is that what that is?
2 ounces for the homies.
Maybe that's what it is then. Track number 15, Do for Self.
Ain't nobody gonna do for you. Do for self.
Yo, shit.
Yo.
Come here, nigga. What's up, nigga?
Bro, what's the deal, son?
How you doing, man?
Chillin', man. So
Fucking with that cat over there for?
Those are my niggas, son.
Nah, man. Fuck around with them niggas.
I'm saying, yo.
That little nigga, man.
I'm holding it down
talk
my
to you for a
phone,
second.
son.
Come here, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come here. Yo, I've been through bullshit, forced to pull shit at the enemy. If I did it, Holmes, it was the end of me. Back in the days, I'ma say like around your age.
What makes you figure that?
Yo, I used to move the same way, carrying guns, selling nickel jumps to bums, run away from home, running through the streets with a chrome.
That one sounds like you should have let it play for more than 30 seconds because that's got some deep. That almost sounded like a primo cut.
Yeah, and it's 5.5 minutes long.
It is, but that'd be one to definitely listen to the whole track.
Last
Last track on the record, track number 16, is called Everything.
Everything is everything?
Everything is everything.
All right, Bus, we get it. Flip Mode Squad.
And that
is everything.
From what I understand, yes, I've been told. That is the Imperial album by Flip Mode Squad. Your one and done for episode 247. I have no charting action for this, unfortunately.
Really?
Huh?
Is it really? That would have been a surprise.
Well, maybe there was some, but on my reference,
oh yeah,
it doesn't list it. So we'll just kind of go with the fact that there's no charting action.
This place has everything.
Let's listen. And that will bring us to your record of the week. And your record of the week? Did this come from the rabbit hole too?
Well, let's say yes. Well, because I went down starting with the Atlanta Southern hip hop thing.
Right.
And then kind of make a left turn. And then
at Albuquerque.
Yeah. I was trying to find Pismo Beach, but and then
and all the clams you can eat.
And then it took me to and then from there I ended up here. And I said, let me check the record out. And then I did, and I said, I think we can work with that.
I think we can work with that. So we're going to work with that.
All right.
The record of the week came to us November 24th, 1998. running 68 minutes and 19 seconds on No Limit and Priority Records, produced by Beats by the Pound and Meech Wells. This is the second album released by the rap duo Steady Mobbin', and it is called...
Oh, no, wrong one.
and it is called Black Mafia. I have 18 tracks on this record.
That's what I have, but it's a short record for 18 tracks.
Yeah, for 18 tracks, short record. Track number 1, Ghetto Life.
I know y'all grew up in the ghetto on the West Coast. I'm from down south, but it don't matter whether you're from the East Coast or wherever, because the ghetto is a constant struggle. It's all about the more money you make, the more problems you have. I guess the ghetto is just consequences that we can't escape. You heard?
So many murders jumping off, blood soaking the streets. So many children worldwide with nothing to eat. There's no peace. All these trigger happy police. It's hard enough being poor and black. These times of grief.
Not all police are trigger happy, Tom. That's not what we're saying.
No, this is not our record. We're just covering it. Track number 2, Bout Dat Mess, featuring Fiend, Big Ed, and Mac. Now, the first song featured Odell, Uncle Snoop, and
Man, this ain't no motherfucking Pete.
We bought that mess. Dressed it up in all black. We bought that mess. Bring it, yeah. Bring it. We bought that mess. Bring it out. Bring it. Strap. Bring it. Bought that mess. 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 Bought that mess.
Oh yeah, they bought that mess.
From what I understand, yes. Track number 3, featuring Renzo of the Sons of Funk. It's called Still Hustlin'.
What's up with them steady mobbing niggas, man? Man, them niggas kicked off the tank, man. He ain't even messing with them niggas no more. For real, man? You know them SS's them niggas had? Nigga, them was peak cars.
Why you all in my motherfucker business? Why you and your bitch pillow talking me, nigga?
Man,
I'm a real nigga.
he pimped them niggas. Them niggas didn't get paid. Them niggas starstruck.
I'm still hustling, nigga. You might see me in the source of the vibe. Real niggas do it live. Break the blunt down.
They got that whole mystical sound
Yeah.
to them.
Yep.
And that's
Track
what I'm
number
saying, the difference between that South and the Outcast South, completely different feels. It's like it's a whole. You can't just say Southern rap because like it's South and then Southwest and then Mid South and
it's a whole lot of South.
There is.
Track number 4, featuring C Murder. When Them Killers Call.
Hello? Hello?
What's
Yo,
up?
Crook.
What's up, nigga?
Man, gay, nigga, I need you.
What's happening, nigga?
Come ride with me, nigga. These motherfuckers playing with us, dog.
Where they at,
Fuck
nigga?
all that dumb shit, nigga.
Man, where they at? Man, you know this, nigga.
Write letters from my jail cell. I'm getting bitches in my mail. I'm burning fools like the flames in hell. Dear God, please forgive me for my sins. I'm trying to have my
Yeah, it's a no limit record.
Yeah, you know, two ways about it. Track number 5, featuring Mr. Cal and Silk the Shocker.
We've done Silk the Shocker.
We have Nickelback's Like Me.
There we go. Gangsta shit. Niggas like me into gangsta shit. Niggas like me make the world go round. Beats by the pound. Is the niggas dropping plastic sounds. Niggas like me come with extra clips. Cause niggas like me be in some gangsta shit. Niggas like me make the world go round. Beats by the pound.
All right. We're going to start every line with Nickelback Like Me.
Yep. Track number 6, once again featuring C Murder. Papa Didn't Raise No Punks.
Papa's a G, did 17-3, came out the pen and made me his prodigy. Laced me up and taught me the game on how to bang to the hook and boogie to the bang. They sing, walk that walk. Soldiers don't talk. Keep it real and have your body outlined and chalk.
And I will tell you, C Murder is on our record of the week list. I just haven't gotten to him yet.
Yes. Track number 7 featuring and Little Soldiers. In case you can't tell who that is.
Man, this ain't no motherfucking P.
There you go. Little Nickelbacks.
And all the juvenile delinquents out there, locked up on the streets, hustling.
My name free, you know it ain't no limit to me. See the violence on TV, hurting the seas. See the guns in their hand, yellow tape out of school. Clap the floor in the puddles, bring a drug to the youth. I'm the one you chose to tell the truth. 7 years old, my brother, now both of us.
I'm gonna have to look into Little Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if Lil Romeo was a little soldier.
And Lil Bow Wow and
well,
all
Lil
these
Romeo
other
makes
littles.
sense because that's P's kid.
Yeah. And now they all grew up to be young and Track number 8 featuring Magic and Craig B. Plead My Case.
Your Honor, I'm attorney Edwin Hawkins. I'm here today on behalf of my clients, Billy Bathgate and Cricket Alfonso Salsa. We are ready for sentencing.
In case number 31-00 titled The People vs. Steady Mobbing, I do hereby sentence you to serve 90 years without benefit of parole or probation in the custody Department of Corrections. Do you have anything to say?
Your Honor, have you ever had to feed your kids? Duck bullets while niggas try to split your wig? Hustle all night, time with heavy eyelids? I guess not.
You have been forced to shake your ass.
So much work. Track number 9 featuring maybe my favorite name in this whole thing. Mo B. Dick. That's Mo, middle initial B, last name Dick.
Bet you he got them anal tongue darts.
Heaven or hell.
Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Jesus, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. As in heaven or
The
hell.
devil got me blinded by the money and material wishes, expensive cars, power moves, and badass bitches. Growing up in the ghetto with drug dealers and killers around these two-faced friends.
Two-faced.
Two-faced, that's right. Can't have them two-faced people.
No.
Track number 10 featuring Mr. Servon, Odell, and Ms. Peaches.
Peaches?
Carry on.
Poughkeepsie?
Oh, she did.
Oh, well, I figured.
Nine months, 10 days, 60 minutes of pain. Mom opened up, screamed my name, pushed the sun in the game. Many nights, I didn't know if I'd see another meal.
All right.
Track number 11 featuring Uncle Snoop, Light Green, and Remy.
I guess Mark, not Mom.
Blaze your blunts up. Go to the liquor store, nigga. Who got the weed? We need some Remy. We need some Remy. Who got the weed, motherfucker? I need Remy. High. Y'all got weed over here? Motherfucker, come on. Blaze your blunts up. Let's get high. Yeah. Up early in the morning, I haven't even ate yet. Snoopy, where the weed at? Snoopy, where the weed at? I went to Gil's liquor store to get me a blunt. That's usually how my day jumps. Smack 11 pumps in the cups. Those town niggas dump. Me and Mr. Salsa getting fucked up. And we drinking Remy. And we just woke up burning LG with the young guns. And my niggas can't wait.
Track number 12 featuring Freedom. Not Culture Freedom.
Not Freedom Williams.
Not Freedom Williams. Just Freedom. Stick up.
Freedom
So
got
I
a
guess there's
AK.
no freedom. You're getting stuck up.
Freedom got an AK.
And T-Bone got the 22.
I'm feeling it again, I know ghost of, and I love taking the bitches to the hot tub, laying them down at the nightclub. I ain't giving a fuck. I'm a rich nigga, can't stand bitch niggas. I'm a G-A-N-G-S-T-A. I'm a rowdy ass nigga from around the way.
You heard him.
He went okay solo and spelled out gangsta.
He did. Spellbound.
Track number 13 featuring Uncle Snoop. Turn Me Up.
Wind me up. No.
Shit, I can't even hear myself.
It's one of my favorite cuts that they use all the
Say
time.
less, turn me up in the headphones. Down south, Oakland. Shit, it's been a long time since you heard from the modern black mafia nigga in the dive. Looking real sharp, I'm supreme with the game. Them suckers talk a lot of shit, but they don't be where I hang. We smash on billboard spots. Our CDs moving like cream on spots. The federales watching the soldier, cause I'm hot. That's probably why them bustin'.
What up, Hugo?
Hugo in the house. Track number
14.
Featuring Gambino Family. Family Ties. No Alex P. Keaton's on this.
How do you know?
I'm going to assume.
My freaky ties.
Never cross my ties, unless you lie. Never cross my family ties, or you die. Never cross my ties, unless you lie. Never cross my family ties, or you die.
Tell you, almost every song on here makes me want to say,
Track number 15 featuring Silk the Shocker and Ms. Peaches. But not Alicia Keys and not Mr. Alicia Keys.
No.
No one.
No one? No one?
No one?
I'm trying to do something. You trying to do something? It's cool.
Trying to do something?
But yeah, bring your friends too, cause I got steady mob with me. We know living niggas, you heard? Nobody do it better than we do it. So holla at me, you heard?
Okay, player.
Okay, player. Track number 16 featuring Full Blooded. Crosses Artist.
The bullet missed me. I was high when they tried to get me. Had my nigga with me. So the fools, they didn't hit me. Got the scoop from Tito, amigo. From the corner store with gold. 2 dope. Hit the flow with 4 foes. I had to hit the flow. I bullet holes. Tap the Cordo. B&B Mo. Out of pocket off Henny and Coke.
Track number 17 featuring Mean Green and Mo, middle initial B, last name Dick. MG theme.
Gene the dancing machine.
No women, gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta have it. For sure. I gotta get it, yeah, gotta have it. Come on, we gotta get it, cause I have it. Gotta get it, for sure. Gotta have it. They gotta have it. Gotta get it, gotta have it.
West Coast.
I gotta get it.
You know they got to have
it. I gotta get it, gotta have it.
Check it out.
Get it.
Billy Bathgate, Crooked Eye, Mean Green, No Limit, gotta get it.
Count money through a money machine. I'm getting watched by the eye on the clock. Suckers wanna see me shot. Sitting in my big box. Count my knot. Bling bling from the rock.
I don't know why anyone would name themselves after St. Ides malt liquor.
Because 8 Ball was already taken.
That crooked eye give you crooked eyes.
Last track on the record featuring Prime Suspects, number 18, called Hit a Lick.
We didn't hit a lick. Open up shop, clear the block. We about to make this motherfucker hot. We didn't hit a lick. Open up shop, clear the block. We about to make this motherfucker hot.
The Katie was a toolie that we chose for duty. Came up on some bricks.
And that is your record of the week. Black Mafia by Steady Mobbin.
Steady Mobbin.
Steady Mobbin. It said, let's see, do I have any kind of... Yes, I do have some charting action on here, actually.
Yeah.
None for the singles. The only single that was listed as a minor hit was Ghetto Life, but it didn't chart anywhere. But the record itself charted on 2 charts.
Okay.
Number 82 on the Billboard 200.
Nice.
And number 19 on the top R&B hip-hop albums.
Sweet.
And this was Steady Mobbin's last album on No Limit Records.
No Limit, yeah.
Because they released Crime Buddies in 2001, 3 years later. But
you say they released Crime Baby.
So, yeah, that had that No Limit feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
Black Mafia by Steady Mobbin, your record of the week for episode 247. We will remind you that your one and done was Flip Mode Squad with the Imperial album. And your artist of the month for this final week of October of 2018, Dana Dane with Fame.
Dana Dane with Fame.
Go check out some Dana Dane this week before the month is over.
Yeah.
And come up with ideas as to who do you want for your artist of the month for November of 2018. We will be taking suggestions through the Hit Us Up feature on the website. We're going to take our final break of the evening. We're going to come back. I'm going to read some lyrics. Hopefully we'll have an update on fantasy football, and then we will call it a night. But until then, come on back. Episode 247, Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Nice. Let me pull up this piano real quick.
Let me see where the football game is.
It's sucking.
And where the hell are the scores?
Yeah, so
my
So
team.
new posse members meet old posse members.
League home.
Lots of people showing out tonight we haven't seen in a long time, which some of you newer posse members probably have never seen some of these people.
That's right. Where the hell is
Why would
scores? I don't know why you. Why would I know
1996.
anything? I don't know nothing.
Nobody tells me nothing. Yeah, the score was 1996, I think.
You whack ass.
Well, it was.
You whack ass jackass.
Yeah. Now we're probably gonna have to skip football because there's still 13 minutes left in the game.
Ah.
I'm gonna
And yay, I won an ESPN. I probably lost in Yahoo this week. Let's see. Yahoo.
Stop that. It's silly.
I have a 1% chance of winning.
Yay. Hold on, I gotta pull up
The Giants are down 20-6.
Yeah, pay no attention to that. I had to run it real quick so it would work.
Yeah, Giants are down 20-6, which means they have not scored a goddamn touchdown yet. Probably kicked 2 field goals.
All right.
They're gonna have to get rid of
Eli.
Yes. They're gonna have to bench him. It's just, I love the guy. Thanks for the 2 Super Bowls, but
he's done.
It's not happening for you.
No. All right. Are you prepared?
No more so than usual.
All right.
But go ahead.
I'm gonna hit this.
Drop.
And since we did Greg Nice making it funky for us, we're gonna bring this one in with a Shree. Who's your mama?
No matter how many
times.
No matter how many times.
No matter how many times.
No matter how many times.
Hey, yo, check this out. This is Smooth B, Notorious Glorious. I'm chilling on my boys. Jamie and Bill. No matter how many times the ball bounces, there's still no better podcast than Mr. Throwback Thursday. You heard? You heard? Salute.
The quality of God which leads to infinity. Cause as we know, our rhymes are impeccable, fresh and flexible.
But it starts with Bill.
I'm Bill S. Preston. It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence. Take Tylenol for any headaches. Might offer any cramps.
Most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should.
Welcome to Bill Reed's Lyrics.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 247. It is indeed time for Bill Reed's Lyrics.
Is it?
And considering I heard a nasty giggle from my co-host before we went to break, I'm sure this is going to be enlightening.
Is it always?
So let's do the do. Why don't you send them on over?
All right. Well, let's pull up our little chat window. And I'll put this over here. And I'll send this over there. And I'll say, ta-da.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done them in a while.
You haven't.
Oh, Gail is just chomping at the bit.
This is Gail's favorite part.
I know it is. And for one reason or another, this is a lot of people's favorite part. And it kind of makes me feel dirty. But that's okay. I made peace with it.
Well, that's all it really
Where would you like me to go from?
With the deceased members verse.
Okay. Let's see. There he is. And go right to the sample?
Well, of course.
Read the sample?
I think so.
No, I think we could probably just stop.
Think we can get away with it?
I'll read the sample.
All right.
Okay. Did you have any voice requests?
No. I think to do this one, what's the word I'm looking for? To pay proper homage to this one. Yes, you should just do it as you.
Okay. Hugo throwing in the guesses.
What's he got?
Look at the feed on Periscope.
I'm trying. I lose. Oh, there it is. Look at that guy. Well, I didn't say the deceased member. And if we're doing lyrics,
chances are, unless it could be ODB.
It could be. And it's not Yoda's Marquise, baby. So, with no type of ado,
as far as I know, just his career is dead, not him.
With no type of ado, Sesame Street Grover Style.
Gail's like, play the music.
Whether nearer or further, we will cue the motherfucking piano.
There's an old lady who lives in a shoe, got a house full of kids, don't know what to do. She sucked and fucked all the nickelbacks around. When it's time to pay rent, couldn't none be found. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet with her legs gapped open wide. Up came a spider, looked up inside her, and said, "That pussy's wide." Little Jack Horner sat in a corner, fucking this cutie pie. Stuck in his thumb, made the bitch come. Said, "Hell of a nickelback am I." Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall because a hoe on the Ave was sucking his balls. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put that fat motherfucker back together again. Hey, wait. I got one. Did this? I got one. Check this out. The two dudes, dig this. The two dudes dressed like nuns, right?
Yes. And that, children, is Bill Reed's lyrics for the evening.
And the extra on that. Hey, you ruined my record, man. I just bought it. So you can read those to your children, because that was Dirty Nursery Rhymes by Two Live Crew, of course.
Yes. Good guess, Hugo.
And yeah, so that was it. That was Bill Reed's lyrics for this week. I think that was the first time that damn Jesse Pittsburgh has ever experienced Bill Reed's lyrics.
Probably. Most definitely
Gail
first time live.
Yeah, Gail is laughing like she always does.
Well, yeah.
So
I just come here for the lyrics.
Huh?
I just come here for the lyrics. I got to write the rest of the show around it, but that's the only reason I show up.
Spider hole. She says spider hole. I've been called worse. Anyway, that's going to do it for everything.
Yeah.
As far as the show goes, we will not have a fantasy football update because the game is still going on.
Yep.
Suffice to say the Giants are losing because that's what the Giants do.
That's just the way the story goes.
I will say that as of right now, I am guaranteed to beat Dr. Tim because Dr. Tim started a quarterback on a bye week. So there you go.
He gets the Bye Felicia Award.
He does get the Bye Felicia Award for this week. Anyway,
yes.
Bill Reed's lyrics in this entire shitfest of a technical difficulty show was fueled by death. And that is, as you can see from these mugs, if you can see in there still, there's still some left, the world's strongest coffee, Death Wish coffee.
And these are some fancy looking mugs.
Yes.
They even got our names on them and everything.
Boy, it would be nice if we could somehow get some new fancy looking mugs, since these are like a year old now.
They are.
So, but we call that foreshadowing in business. So anyway, Death Wish Coffee, check them out on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can find any kind of Google search. Go to their website, deathwishcoffee.com. Place your order, use the code Throwback, receive 10% off. The Bittersweet Candy Company, handmade, small batch, different and delicious. Heather Lent brings you hip-hop shaped chocolates and other type stuff. Check them out on Facebook and order at bittersweetcandy.com. It is well worth the time and money because they are yummy.
Yes, and the TBT Posse section of Bittersweet is coming. Now that it is cooled down.
Yes. Don't forget our other friends of the show, Def Rugs, defrugs.com, Facebook, Twitter, at Def Rugs, and Instagram, at Def Rugs. Good night, that damn Jesse Pittsburgh. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, we're here every week. You should be too.
And finally, our friends at Eclectic Goods hand-painted shoes. Each pair hand-painted to your specifications. No machine processing. Check them out. Order at Facebook, Twitter, and at eclecticgoodsva@gmail.com. You can check their work out over at EG Custom Kicks on Instagram. Melton Mike's is the hip-hop themed t-shirt company of the one Pumice T. Mendola.
Yes.
Use MLTDMICS.com. Use our code Mr. Throwback Thursday for 10% off. And finally, the Mr. Throwback Thursday social media network. MRThrowbackThursday.com is the place to be for everything about this show, including show notes, including the hit us up. Make your suggestion for the artist of the month for next month. You can check out the Posse Wall of Fame. You can check out everything that there is to know about the show. Follow us on Twitter. You can see our Twitter handles right below your faces, our faces, if you're watching through the live stream.
Yes.
Jamie is at _MR_TBT. I am at Bill_MR_TBT. We also have Instagram pages that you can follow. Jamie is at Mr. Throwback Thursday. I am at the same thing as my Twitter handle, Bill_MR_TBT. We did the Twitter handles, the Facebook page. Don't forget that. We can get more likes on there. You can check out the show on multiple platforms. The High Voltage Radio Network at highvoltageradio.com. Our new home at Hip Hop Menace Radio at hiphopmenace.com. And, of course, every Thursday morning from 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern on Fresh Radio at itsfreshradio.com. It is now time for the obligatory mention. Couldn't get that in quick enough. Our obligatory mention of our patrons, Manny Baez, Fred Dietrich, Gail Dunmeyer, Sarah Henderson, John Henderson, Hugo Gonzalez, and Sanket Patel. They got 5 on it.
Or more.
Or more. They are our patrons. If you want to become a patron and get your name mentioned every week, you can become a patron at patreon.com/MRTBT.
Yes, we have other patrons, but they are not at the level to get their name mentioned. There are levels you have to go see.
That's right. So go to patreon.com/MRTBT. Find out what we're talking about. Don't forget our friends in the industry. As always, check out the Kings of Sport with Brother Nate Milton and Marcus Vanderberg. Marcus, who will be covering, thank you, John, will be covering the World Series for his beloved Dodgers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then Anthony, Imran, and Rug Boy over at the Jock and Nerd podcast. You can go back in time to the era of VHS tapes and video stores with the Video Rangers podcast, and from our friends at Death Wish Coffee, who we talked about before, the only other podcast in the world that can say they're fueled by death, because it's their stuff. Fueled by Deathcast with the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man. You can check out our friend Talking Ty on her webpage. Ty didn't join us tonight. That's unusual.
Yeah,
BrooklynTyNYC.com. She's probably out recording stuff on her Instagram feed so that she can bring it to us.
Yeah.
And the hardest working turntablist in the world, we mentioned him before, DJ B on itsfreshradio.com. You get that app for your phone and listen, as we said, every Thursday from 6 to 8 a.m. on Fresh Radio. You'll hear the Mr. Throwback Thursday show, and right after that, the All Request Morning show.
Yeah. Oh, and since that damn Jesse Pittsburgh stopped by tonight, go and check out her show. It's called Zombie Anonymous.
Oh, yes. I forgot she was still doing that.
Yep.
So anyway, you can check out the show. Leave us reviews on iTunes. We've been on iTunes forever. You can check us out on Stitcher. Favorite us there. Leave us reviews on any of those platforms. You can check out the show on Google Play Store. I don't know if they do reviews there.
Don't know.
I don't know if they do reviews on iHeartRadio, but we're there too.
We are.
I don't know if they do reviews on Spotify, and we are there now too.
Yeah.
So
somebody go and try to leave us one and let us know.
That would be very nice.
Hell,
and also on TuneIn Radio, which is where I'm sorry?
You can go over to our Facebook page and leave reviews. I didn't know that. People left us reviews.
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go check those out myself. And TuneIn Radio is the home for all of our International Posse members, it seems.
Yeah,
so you can always find us there, including the Wadka.
Yes.
So therefore, haven't mentioned them in a while. Go find us. Share the good word. Thanks for hanging with us tonight through the technical difficulties. We finally made it. And, Jamie, I think we survived. So
I think so. Gloria Gaynor style.
Before smoke comes out of your computer or my computer, I'm going to say, keep it classic. And until next week, always remember,
new school stale, old school fresh.
For our patrons still watching on the live feed, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for sticking around through all of the bullshit that we went through.
Shit.
We will see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye, Bonds.
See ya.